These people are crazy. This is what's going on in Korea, man. This is what's going on around Korea, man. Korea sound like America a little bit, so let me get this straight. They got no promotion. The label not big. They blackballing them for award shows. They blackballing them for performing. They performing at the end. They treat everybody with respect. They get mocked on shows. And you taking them to court after you do all of this and they still out selling you and you want to take them to court? Hey, man, I'll tell you this. Welcome back to the React Room. I'm your boy, Dom K. And today, it's another day, another video, another experience, another opportunity for me to get to know you better. Today's video is going to be Respect Your Seniors, Mock Your Juniors. BTS, a lesson on respect. And as promised, I told you guys, this is going to be probably, I think we did 5 or 6 Boracities in a row. And I think this is going to be like the 5th one or 6th one, I'm not really sure. But after this video, we're going to get into a music video that I've never seen before. It's called Spring Day. It's one of the, from what I heard, is one of the most lyrical BTS songs out there. You know, I've done a lot of music, but I've never gotten to Spring Day. And, you know, I'm big on respect and I want to see, because people, you know, when people say this is the most lyrical song, it's usually 3 songs that come up when I see most lyrical. Spring Day, Black Swan, and Blood and Sweat and Tears. Those come up. So I'm excited to get into that tomorrow, but for today, we want to show respect. And I honestly feel like, just my personal opinion, every time I see, the conversation gets really, really weird when you talk about respect and accomplishments. I notice the conversation always gets really weird when BTS comes up. And I'm not just saying that because I've been reacting to a lot of the music and a lot of the guys, because again, you guys know I don't have any favoritism because, again, if you just, unlike most channels, I hate to compare myself to other channels, but I just want to show people the diversity, and you can trust my opinion. I'm not a liar. Look at my catalog versus a lot of other people's catalog who claim that they'll just only do like BTS videos, and then, like I said, here comes the Patreon. But me, I try to give it to a wide world, because again, most BTS fans don't like a lot of the K-pop, and most Blackpink fans don't like a lot of the other K-pop, and most Stray Kids fans will tell you that they don't. I see the genres don't really cross, but I'm gonna make a video about that, and I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna do my own little video essay, because I got a theory on why I believe that most people in K-pop, most groups don't succeed. I got a really, really good theory about that, and it has nothing to do with just the music. I truly believe something, but that's gonna come soon. Matter of fact, I might do that Wednesday or Tuesday. Either I'm gonna do Spring Day either Tuesday or Wednesday with Blood, Sweat, and Tears, but I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna hold off on it. Don't hold me to that. One of them 2 things is coming soon. But anyways, respect your seniors, mock your juniors. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing it's just saying respect the people who come before you, and I'm guessing it means, you know, have fun with the underclassmen or whatever, and I get it. And I know that BTS has been through a lot of hardships. I know they've been mocked, they've been laughed at, and I can tell you this, they ain't laughing now. I can promise you they're not laughing now. All of the people who were laughing, making jokes, making rude comments, making little snarky things. When I say snarky, I mean little, oh, they'll never be this, oh, they'll never be that. They ain't laughing now. I can tell you that. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody who came into the videos the last couple of days. The comments have been amazing. The engagement's been amazing. I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm glad you guys are here. The normal chat, not the the fey weather people. We call them the fey weather people in Texas. They show up sometimes, they disappear sometimes. I'm talking about the people who support. You know who you are. Thank you. You in here. So with that being said, we're going to get into Respect Your Seniors, Mock Your Juniors, BTS lesson on respect. Let's get into it.
In one of the latest episodes of Run Jin, Jin of BTS had 4 famous guests, a singer and 3 comedians. As comedians do, the first thing they do when they enter the room is joke about being there with ulterior motives. They each want to promote something. But this is no problem, a lot of guests do this. What has really started a lot of conversations within the BTS fandom is the reason why one of these comedians accepted the invitation.
진이하고 약간 사연이 좀 있는 게 셰프님 집에서 우리가 맛있는 거 먹으면서 얘기하다가 나는 섭섭함을 한번 토론한 적이 있어.
제가요? 제가요?
기대가 있어야 섭섭한 거 아니에요?
근데 나도 BTS가 나한테 섭섭한 거.
너무 부럽다.
나 너무 궁금해. 뭐지?
예전에 뭐 어떤 방송에서
네.
나한테 인사를 했는데 내가 인사를 잘 안 받아서.
전혀 기억은 안 나는데 너무 하신 거 아니에요?
너무한 거지,
야,
그래서
너무해서 내가 더 섭섭하다.
너무
그래서
섭섭하다.
다리 힘들면 주저앉았잖아. 내가 너에게 그건 아니지. 그건 아니지. 근데 중요한 건 그것도 풀 겸 바로 달려.
좋습니다.
This seems like it's not that big of a deal. This comedian is jokingly apologizing about a past awkward situation, and Jin is joking about it as well. This incident is so insignificant to Jin that he cannot even remember what happened, and he had no problem inviting this comedian to his show. So why is this moment being debated by fans? The answer is a little more complicated than it seems, so please let me finish the full idea. As BTS started growing in popularity, it only became more and more evident how truly extreme, normalized, and damaging power dynamics can be in the South Korean entertainment industry. Most K-pop fans are aware of the importance of respecting your seniors or sunbaeams that exists not just in K-pop but in South Korea. It's a cultural thing. It's in their language. It's in all their interactions. Most K-pop fans also know the power that the big 3 K-pop labels have. So we know that the ones with power because of age, popularity, or seniority deserve respect. Junior groups should bow down to their seniors and not lazily, or there can be a scandal. Now, none of this is being praised or criticized by fans. What is actually being talked about now is how this dynamic is perceived by the juniors, especially the juniors with no company seniors or any kind of power. Because BTS started with no popularity, seniority, money, or power, they were expected to accept humiliation by their seniors, to not complain about it, and to show respect either way. Of course, BTS were not the only group to receive this kind of treatment, but they are the only ones who were able to completely flip the dynamic and expose it fully. BTS became the biggest group not just in K-pop but in the world. So now, the seniors who humiliated them publicly or privately a decade ago seem forced to apologize. This creates a complicated and sometimes emotional layer to this very simple clip. Like I've mentioned, K-pop fans know about the ways in which seniors should be treated because seniors call juniors out when they don't do it. But how did the seniors treat the juniors back? In the case of BTS, the response they got when they first started was literally nothing. As artists with no power or fame, they were not approached by anyone around them. In their book Beyond the Story, BTS explains that they were given no attention at the award shows. They were dwarfed by countless established artists who were already beloved by the public. And because BTS was the only group from Big Hit Entertainment to attend, they did not have older colleagues from the company to introduce them to other artists.
Okay. Quick into it. So juniors, I'm assuming, are, you guys help me out. So I'm assuming that juniors are the younger people in the company, the people who just joined in. I guess that's like the rookies. Usually in America, you got freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors. I guess like freshmen would be the newbies, rookies would be the newbies, juniors would be like the people who were there for a little bit. So I'm guessing they're saying like there's no seniority at Big Hit Entertainment because they were the only group. So they didn't really have to have an older group like introduce them to people or basically get somewhat hazed, like do little things to them, like mock them a little bit, play with them. So the other groups felt, I don't know. Maybe that's it. I've never seen that type of stuff, but I don't know. I know that goes on in like, it goes on in some like fraternities, but I'm not sure. Like in basketball, it's a little different than football. It's like you're a freshman, you can't really say certain. Yeah, I guess it does go on in sports. I guess I understand. Okay.
No one spoke to them, and they could not approach anyone. All they could do was attend the award shows, step onto the stage to give brief comments and thanks, and return straight to the dormitory. The first two BTS albums had low sales that kept increasing little by little. These albums also got good audience reception. But of course, none of these matters to the industry or to other K-pop groups who were light years above them. BTS explained that this indifference by the industry didn't stop them. Let's remember that this treatment was mostly behind the scenes. We didn't know this was going on. So BTS simply stayed silent and continued fighting. What truly shocked them was their first public humiliation. RM and SUGA started their musical careers as underground rappers, and in some ways, they left this world to join BTS in the K-pop idol industry. This was not the easiest route to success though, because BTS's journey in the K-pop industry was so difficult. They lacked the resources and opportunities others had in the industry, and in many ways, they could have suffered less in the industry as independent artists or producers. But this risky decision and struggle didn't matter to their former friends from the rap scene. To them, BTS were just like the privileged idols from the big three, and they had to be called out. Ironically, BTS was not invited to many TV shows, so one of their first interviews was at a hip-hop podcast. This was the moment when RM and SUGA were publicly insulted. They were accused of being sellouts, wearing makeup, performing as girls, and so much more.
방탄소년단이 무대에 올라갔을 때 분장을 한다는 거, 메이크업을 하는 거에 대한 어떤 힙합과 충돌되는 부분이 있을 것 같은데.
그런 게 아니라 여자.
와.
하고 싶은 게 뭐예요?
네?
하고 싶은 게 뭐예요?
유리한 머리를 오가면서 그러면서 곡을 써서 파는데 불구하고
그러면 지금은 약간 임시로 돈을 벌어서
아니요 그런 뜻은 아니죠. 그걸 바꾸고 싶었어요.
그걸 받고 싶었다. 뭘로?
제가
당시요?
가지고
미움도 없고 아무것도 없고 뭔가 이렇게 같이 같은 길을 갈 수 있었던 사람들인데 뭔가 그걸 유혹을 못 이기고 같이 뭔가
All of this, of course, was excused and celebrated because this is how hip-hop is. And teenagers SUGA and RM were ready to respond with songs directed at everyone who insulted them.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And Army people, I want you to understand this. This is the hip-hop side of me talking. What you just witnessed is a normal occurrence in hip-hop. And I know a lot of people out there probably thinking it's unfair. Oh, it's unfair. That's the same thing that would happen to you if you were a hip hop artist in America and you started off as a hip hop artist and you joined a group. Even if you joined a group that was some R&B, some pop, some singing, the moment you become in a boy band, they do look at you as a sellout, and that's just a hip hop thing. And for them to get mad about it or question them about it, again, they didn't have to personally insult them and say you're dressing up as girls. That's what I don't like. You don't have to personally insult them. But there's nothing wrong with being questioned. Why did you give up this? Why are you doing this? This is going against everything that we stand for. What's your mission? What's your goals? I think RM would have explained it very well if they would have been open to hearing him. He could have easily responded with like, we want to change it. Like, I don't want to do that full time. That's a part of who I am, but I can put the rap element into this as well and take this to a whole other level. If they would have been receptive to hearing that, they would have learned a lot. And again, you don't know as time goes by. But I'm just being honest. Watching this clip, I'm only offended that he tried to like mock their masculinity, like, oh, you guys are dressing up as girls. But I'm not mad at him asking or even calling him a sellout. I'm not mad at them because that's what would happen to anybody. You can think it's not right because of where they showed up, but it's like in the hip hop person mind, like, oh, you're giving up this to do that because you don't want to take this route like everybody else taking. But it's a fair criticism until you see what they did with it, because they put a lot of great music out there, a lot of great rap out there. So again, I want y'all to be convinced. They wasn't just picking on them. It's kind of like, I'm telling you, I know for a fact, if I was an American, I start off as a rapper, and then I wanted to join this group, I would be mocked. But who has the last laugh? Because again, RM, SUGA, and JHope I guess JHope don't count, but because he wasn't from the hip hop scene. But SUGA and RM, boy, like I said in the beginning of the video, I bet you not laughing now. I bet you not mocking now. You wish these guys would give you a feature. But I know Suga probably threw some sneak disses at us. Let me check that out because I already know he ain't going.
Including this rapper 10 years older than them. RM said, taking an insult like that to our faces and from someone in the same industry. That was when I learned how to respond when you're walking down the street and you get slapped in the face out of nowhere. Another irony is that a TV show finally reached out to RM and BTS, and it was to talk about this incident, which they accepted, by the way. Now, what intrigues me is once again, who are always the targets? There are many rappers in K-pop, and there are many underground rappers who become K-pop idols, but the ones who were called out were the easy targets, the unknown juniors, the nobodies. There is an underground rapper who in 2014 made a popular song dissing many K-pop rappers, although he became a big 3 K-pop idol himself just the next year. But that's besides the point. The interesting thing about this is that the K-pop rappers he dissed were always from small labels, never the big 3.
Okay, now we get it. Of course you feel like that. You going after the people who can't really, you going after the people who don't really have a fight. See, you go after them big 3 labels. Oh, it's gonna be consequences, brother. And again, I'm not defending the other guy dissing RM and SUGA. It was wrong. I'm saying if they would have done it in a way where they could have had a constructive conversation, as if like again, that was just disgusting what they did. Oh, you guys are dressing up like girls. You guys are sellouts. No, what you say is, why are you giving up the essence of what we became to do this? And listen to his answer. And if you don't like the answer, you have a right to disagree and say, but I feel like you selling out on us because of this, and this. Not because of the makeup, not because, just keep it music. But that's so hard, I see, for people that they can't keep it professional. They can't keep it music. They can't keep it professional. And it's because they always let their emotions run rapid. My emotions have to speak for me. How I personally feel versus how the world feels. Well, you can be an underground rapper all you want. And you can be the realest underground rapper all you want. But guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get the unrealest sales you ever thought. Like I said, like, you gotta make a decision. Do I wanna touch the world? Do I wanna touch a small minority of people? They chose to touch the world. And as far as this guy, he's a coward. This is the epitome of a coward. If you're gonna be a rapper, you're gonna sneak diss the big boys. Diss the people who gonna respond back with diss tracks. Diss the people who gonna come at you. Don't diss little bitty guys who can't defend themselves. That's like a bully walking down the street and picking on a 5-year-old kid or a 6-year-old kid, like pushing him every day. But as soon as a grown man come over there, he gets scared. Punk.
Real competition. So of course, he had to diss RM and BTS. After BTS grew in popularity, the rapper was asked why he dissed them, but he just gave the microphone to his CEO, who answered for him, saying that rappers diss each other. In 2024, 10 years after he dissed RM and BTS, the rapper admitted he was too scared of going after a big group.
그때 그런 게 있었거든요. 왜 엑소는 안 건드리? 그때 솔직한 답변으로 엑소를 건드리면 죽을 것 같으니까.
And this is something I don't see a lot of people talking about. It's true that diss tracks are part of hip-hop, and RM and SUGA know that very well. But consistently going after small rappers completely unprovoked, while purposefully avoiding confronting rappers from your same level of fame, I would say it's at the very least lame. But this pattern is common because it works. Some attribute the downfall and disbandment of certain small groups to these unprovoked confrontations by bigger artists. Just keep this in mind. The big 3 didn't debut any groups in 2013. So out of all these 2013 small groups, only BTS survived. And in a way, surviving gave them even more trouble because as the unwelcome guests, everything and everyone was against them. People wouldn't call them by their names. They referred to them as those bulletproof best guys. So of course, the only opportunities networks gave the unwelcome guests came with false pretenses. BTS was invited to perform a collaborative stage with a K-pop group 2 years their senior at the 2014 Mamas. However, this was marketed as a confrontation, not as the friendly collaborative stage they thought it would be. This trick came at the worst time for BTS. This was a somewhat small, stressful situation on top of a season full of false hope and disappointment. After the school trilogy, BTS prepared a project that put the future of their team on the line. Their first studio album, Dark and Wild, and its single, Danger. They went to the US to shoot their first show, American Hustle Life, while recording their album simultaneously in a garage. They wrote, recorded, and selected songs more diligently than ever. They planned their hardest choreography and then changed it again and again to perfection. They shoot their show until 8 p.m., then they practiced their performances all night and went to the accommodations at sunrise, covered in sweat. They slept for some hours and then they started shooting again. They were so sleepy, they used to sneak into the bathroom to take naps. However, their big project didn't receive any nominations. SUGA said, "We suffered so much for it. So why?" About this era, their book says, the grueling practice sessions leading up to the Mama performance were not solely because of the friendly competition. BTS was truly desperate. JHope says, all those performances for Danger were really exhausting. When we had that comeback with Danger, releasing the Dark and Wild album, we'd done about 20 music show pre-recordings and then went to a different program where they announced first place. We were told we had to be there, so we went up there live completely out of it. Then it turned out we weren't even candidates for first place, which I think was a big shock. JHope's shock was not purely due to their performance on the rankings. V tentatively goes into further detail about the situation. It's fine if other teams are named as candidates for first place. We just need to work harder. But at the broadcasting stations, we'd always be the first to say hello and greet everyone, the seniors and the juniors alike. But some people just ignored us or passed right by, or mocked us for not being candidates for top place. After the broadcast, we all got into the van together. Someone was crying, someone was getting really mad, and someone just couldn't speak. That unspeakable disappointment and that tear-jerking emotion was too much. So their first podcast appearance served as some kind of trap. The multiple invitations to the winners' ceremonies also felt like traps, and their first collaborative stage was also a trap. Seniors made fun of them in front of the camera and behind the stage. Now it's the turn of the variety shows.
Yeah, man. Listen, I can't say that I'm shocked, man. Like, I'm gonna be real, this is a great story, but I'm gonna be honest with you, like, listen, it's a lot of, this is what comes with the territory. A lot of people just believe, they just turn it on BTS or they just turn it on one of these stars and they just say, oh, they had it easy. This is a part of it, man. People hate greatness. People don't want to see new people. Or you just think about it like this. If you're a CEO of a business and you own a company and all your friends own companies, and let's just say you all selling different types of food. You selling noodles, they selling burgers, they selling rice, they selling cooked food, whatever. And you making all of this money for years and you're famous for what you're doing. Everyone knows 5 or 6 people for it. And then you see a new up and coming people who they look just as talented. They food good. It's a little cheaper. People starting to like it a little bit. What you gonna try to do? You gonna try to kill it before? No, we gotta shut this down. They feel threatened. It's a normal thing. I'll give you an example. Like in the States, you guys know I love Nicki Minaj. I love Nicki Minaj. But if I look into it, bro, she has a beef with a lot of female rappers. Any female rapper that's coming up, I'm gonna be on, and I don't wanna just throw this on her, but like, I love Nicki, but every single year I used to hear about her beefing with 2 or 3 people, from Cardi B to Megan Thee Stallion, to Lotto, to Remy Ma, to then she was mad at JT and other people for not signing with, like, man, Little Kim, Usher, bro, that's just 8 people off the top of my head. Just any female rapper, male rappers, if you go against what she think it's a problem. And that's not just her. Beyonce the same way. If you beef with Beyonce, if she see you up and coming, she like, no. That's just how people are. They feel threatened whenever someone new's coming up, especially in the female game. Now the male game is a little different. They'll just try to blackball you. They'll try to blackball you. They'll try to get you up out of there. That's what Jay-Z did behind closed doors. Try to get all of them guys up out of there. Just go look at all the old Rockefeller people. Go look what Dipset said. Go look what DMX said. Go look what some of the biggest artists in the world said. Yo, Jay, if you don't look what Gilly the Kid said, one of the most famous podcasters. I didn't want to sign with him, so they tried to put me on a list and blackball. That's what goes on in this game. It's a dirty, nasty, filthy game. And once you get to the top, you got power. You got power to shut down to shut down little groups. You got power to make up lies about people and promote a false narrative. You got power to promote false lies in your music and make it seem like other people not. It's just a dirty part of the game. But I just feel like where these guys at, they just so big, they don't even partake in that nonsense. I just feel like they just so big. They try to help a lot of people. I haven't really heard any stories about, and that's rare. I've never heard any stories about BTS trying to blackball someone. As much as I've looked into them, I've never heard someone say, oh, they were rude to us, or they disrespected us, or they hate us. It's crazy, but you got to treat people like you want to be treated.
BTS was finally getting some real recognition in 2015. The fandom was truly growing, so Jungkook had his first solo variety show appearance. Jungkook enthusiastically bought food and drinks for everyone as a gift. However, the cast rejected the food and made fun of Jungkook for buying it. They accused him of giving them leftovers. The cast gave the food back to Jungkook and walked away. Jungkook seemed shyer than normal the rest of the episode. These are some comments about what happened. You're missing the point that it's variety. It is part of variety to be rude. It's Korean humor. Jungkook is not the first or the last to be quote-unquote disrespected on TV. It's variety. Let me repeat. It's variety. Acting rude is honestly one of the mildest things that could happen on Variety. I honestly wonder how would you guys have survived if this was second generation, where comments on Variety were straight up biting lots of times, and games were physical and taxing. And once again, I need to bring back the topic of this video. In this scenario, Jungkook is the junior. He is showing respect. He is bringing a gift. But the expectation from him is not just to show respect. It's also to accept humiliation, which he did the rest of the episode, showing no complaints. He even urged fans to stop voting for him, as to not offend the rest of the cast. Not long after this incident, BTS was invited to perform at the Busan One Asia Festival 2016. BTS were included in the promotions. ARMYs bought tickets and tuned into the online broadcast. However, at the last minute, the event posted a comment in the online broadcast which said, "Due to circumstances of the artist, BTS will not be appearing in today's broadcast." This was a lie. BTS had their makeup, outfits, and microphones ready. Their fans were there in the audience, but the show ended and BTS was completely cut. After the performers left the stage, BTS refused to leave, and they performed their full set in a stage with leftover confetti while no cameras were rolling. This type of fighting attitude as a response to bullying and mistreatment must have really pissed off the industry. Remember, the Big Three didn't create any groups in 2013, so no 2013 group should survive. But BTS was not just surviving. They started to become a real threat to their seniors. And these contests will not be appearing in today's broadcast.
So did they perform quietly? Hey, that'd be the GOAT. Hey, that's a GOAT move if I ever... Yo, if I press play again and I see people in the crowd, if I see that those guys are performing with no sound, hey,
This
real.
was a lie. BTS had their makeup, outfits, and microphones ready. Their fans were there in the audience, but the show ended and BTS was completely cut. After the performers left the stage, BTS refused to leave, and they performed their full set in a stage with leftover confetti while no cameras were rolling. This type of fighting attitude as a response to bullying and mistreatment must have really pissed off the industry. Remember, the Big Three didn't create any groups in 2013, so no 2013 group should survive. But BTS was not just surviving, they started to become a real threat to their seniors. In this context, it's important to understand the future hostility BTS will receive in the industry. BTS started outselling the biggest of the biggest groups in K-pop, so the easiest thing was to accuse BTS of everything. Big Three fans accused BTS of the illegal practice of SUGA, which basically means that they were buying their own albums. This was at a time when BTS's label didn't have the means to do something like this, especially to the point of outselling the Big Three. Big Three fans accused BTS of mocking the music of Big Three groups when they were just singing along to it. Big Three fans accused BTS of copying multiple Big Three groups, from outfits to common phrases. When BTS received their first music show win, when they held their own concerts, or had any special moments, Big Three fans joined forces in movements of hate so big that BTS has addressed these campaigns multiple times. Just because BTS started outselling everyone, Big Three fans called award shows customer service and made petitions to the Blue House to investigate BTS and award shows. BTS was brought to court and they of course won their case. They organically outsold the Big Three. But many of their fans still believe that for some reason their groups were being sabotaged. You can easily find these fans today. After all these petitions, BTS still won major categories at Mama 2017.
Yo, that's crazy. What's crazy is they take it. Yo, man, don't tell me y'all taking these people to court because y'all mad they outselling y'all. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, nah, bro. No way. Oh, man, these people are crazy. This is what's going on in Korea, man. This is what's going on around Korea, man. Korea sound like America a little bit, so let me get this straight. They got no promotion. The label not big. They blackballing them for award shows. They blackballing them for performing. They performing at the end. They treat everybody with respect. They get mocked on shows. And you taking them to court after you do all of this and they still out selling you and you want to take them to court? Hey, man, I'll tell you this. Hey, man, you can't make this up, bro. You can't make it up.
Case, they organically outsold the Big Three. But many of their fans still believe that for some reason their groups were being sabotaged. You can easily find these fans today. After all these petitions, BTS still won major categories at Mama 2017. And at the award show, a Big Three group cried. If you search for any of these videos, Big Three fans are still convinced in the comments that their favorite group was crying because they were robbed. Some accused BTS of cheating, while others accused the award show of being biased and favoring BTS, ignoring that BTS simply had the biggest year any K-pop group had globally up until that point. Now you may think, who cares about baseless accusations by fans? This is just a fandom thing that went too far. If senior groups would not even acknowledge BTS backstage, do you really think they wouldn't join this hate train as well? The odds really are against them, but that's behind the scenes, so we don't know with certainty. What we know is that after the hate campaign started, as always, BTS continued fighting. They performed at the Gaon Music Chart Awards in February of 2017. During their performance, the organizers at the event showed a very generic no-signal background, but apparently a big three artist used it first, specifically a YG artist. A YG stage producer then posted a picture of the background on her Instagram account with the caption, or hard work, and a puzzled emoji, insinuating that BTS's stage is YG's hard work. BTS copied them. The family of two of the members of the YG group liked the post, which motivated Big Three fans to accuse BTS even harder. Now it was not just fan wars. The family and producers of Big Three groups were then involved, and no statement from Big Hit or the award show themselves clarifying that BTS was not in charge of the background could stop it.
방탄소년단 BTS
BTS started 2017 with this terrible situation, but as I've mentioned, their attitude of never letting others stop them finally started paying off. In 2017, BTS became the first Korean group to receive a nomination at the Billboard Music Awards. They attended and won, so that year they had their American TV debut at the American Music Awards. Now the roles start to shift. The ones with popularity, money, power, and sometimes even seniority are BTS. Big three groups were then losing major awards for the first time ever. And despite their losses, they somehow managed to be the big ending performance at award shows, leaving audiences confused as to why the actual biggest group was not getting the biggest stage. But most times, big three groups would simply boycott the shows. If they are not given awards, they are not attending, and they are not performing, sometimes making their company's juniors protest with them. Now, while at the top, BTS continues choosing to do something I don't know I could do. They choose to forgive. After that, underground rapper turned K-pop idol dissed RM, BTS, and other small rappers, RM met him backstage and they high-five. Although they are not friends, they really do seem fine with each other.
디스하고 하셨고
네.
RM님도 바비님의 의도를 알기 때문에 맞받아서 맞디스를 해주고 하면서
네.
재밌는 그림이 나왔는데
그렇죠.
In 2021, BTS was invited to the variety show hosted by the comedian who rejected Jungkook's food and made him feel uncomfortable. Jungkook reached out to him privately before the show, and during the actual show, they laughed and hugged.
덤을 써주는 것 같아요, 진짜.
나쁜 표현은 늙었다.
아니, 저는 그렇게 표현한 적이 없습니다.
피자하기 전에도 제가 문자 드렸어요.
Although his brother added fuel to the fire by liking that plagiarism post, BTS seems to be okay with this singer. Jimin even collaborated with him. TV networks that mistreated BTS are now apologizing. That underground rapper who insulted them in their first podcast appearance asks for forgiveness every couple of years to get some attention because he always retracts his apology. And on top of everything, celebrities we thought never had problems with BTS are now jokingly telling the members in their own show that they also disrespected them back in the day. Every year, there's a reconciliation with no real public apology. Having mistreated BTS in the past and being good with them now is almost an achievement. It's something to be jealous of. But what about the feelings of that small group crying in their car after being humiliated on TV and behind the scenes time and time again? What about the hundreds of groups being bullied to disbandment because of unprovoked confrontations started by way bigger performers?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. It's bad, but I'll be sitting here lying to y'all if I didn't tell y'all that's just a part of the game, man. Maybe they overcame more than every other artist, but I'm gonna tell you like this. When I watch these guys, I don't see sensitive boys that were being picked on. I see guys that knew they were stars, believed in themselves, and they chose to fight. Now, was everyone else doing was okay? No, it wasn't okay. Do I think it should have happened? No, it probably shouldn't have happened. But I'm not gonna sit here and just say, oh, I feel so bad for what they went. A lot of artists go through the same thing. I don't like the personal attacks. But as far as like these little games of not being able to perform and people do it, that happens in the music industry. So unless we gotta change the music industry as a whole, maybe. But The one thing I will say is, I don't know if I would be so forgiving. Now, again, I'm telling you it's a part of the game, but it couldn't be me. Like y'all always see it. Y'all always say, oh, JHope's a nice guy. Jimin's a nice guy. Jungkook's a nice guy. RM's a nice guy. You right. Jin's a nice guy. V's a nice guy. Hey, I get it. SUGA's a nice guy. I get it. Not me. Not I. Boy, I would have been laying diss tracks left and right. I know his career works a little different. I would have been laying diss tracks left and right. Man, I'd have had all of them dudes up out of there. The shows canceled. But I get it. That's why they in the position. They said, well, you know, better to forgive than forget. No, sure. Not me. Couldn't be me. I'm on you. I'm on you 24/7. And I'm going to make your life a living hell. You made me cry in the car, or you going to cry every day I see you. We at the award shows, I'm not speaking to you. Nose up. Sorry, can't. Who? These guys are nice guys. They, you know, they live and they learn. Nicer than me, because I'll be on it.
It's amazing and incredibly mature that the BTS members are continually choosing to forgive and move on, even purposefully hiding the identities of the idols who mocked them in their debut years. But what comes as extremely difficult to process as fans is the overall feeling that comes with this new performative respect given to BTS. And I'm saying performative because many times this respect comes with this backhanded compliment of I show you respect because you have power, not because I actually respect you as an artist or person. When celebrities talk about BTS, how many times have we heard, how can you say that? Armies are going to kill you. I didn't mean it this way. Please don't come after me.
괜찮겠어요?
모자이크 둘, 셋! 잠깐만 뭐야? 나 BTS를 진짜 좋아하는데 나
선배님이 경고했잖아. BTS 선배님 얼굴을 다 외워.
This attitude is not new. Remember that the Big Three rapper didn't diss his actual competition, not because he respected them, but because he was afraid of their power. So when celebrities start showing that they are okay with BTS despite past controversies, they keep highlighting the idea of respect because of power and not because of actual respect. It feels not genuine.
Well, I disagree. What do you expect them to do? I'm gonna be honest, whether you were rude or not, let's have an honest conversation here. And I know, y'all know I feel like I'm a part of the Army. You guys can be a little crazy at times. And I'm not, let's just be honest. Like, these are kids and these are people, like, of course they don't wanna piss you guys off. Don't act like all of the Army is just, or we just super understanding and we don't know. You guys will flood comments by the tens of thousands. You will shut channels down. You'll mock people. You'll do just what she's kind of complaining about them doing. The Army kind of does that well when they feel like they've been disrespected. But I don't see nothing wrong with what they're saying right now. They're basically saying like, okay, I should know this. Then even if they don't feel like that, someone's gonna see that and say, oh, how can this unknown group, or how can this person not know who the most famous group in Korea is, or how can this person who's on TV not know that these guys. That's how it's being perceived now. So let's just be honest. We can't do that and say, oh, it's not genuine. It doesn't. That's because we've all created a culture. They've created a culture of being hostile towards BTS, and the Army has created a hostile culture of protecting them overboard at times. So it's a collective union of both. But let's not do that. Let's not say it doesn't feel genuine and they're only doing it because they're scared. Okay, well, what's gonna happen if they don't? You saw what happened to people who mocked them now. They're gonna get flooded by the hundreds of thousands. So, I mean, like, come on, let's be fair. Like, you can't say that because, again, it's easy to say that when you're a part of the fandom. But when you're not a part of the fandom and you're the one getting attacked for having an opinion, and again, I don't agree with their opinions, but they have the right to, if they don't think BTS are good artists, they have the right to say that. If they don't think BTS is good, they have the right to do that. Now, I vigorously disagree. I disagree completely, and I do feel like everybody deserves respect. But just because you deserve respect doesn't mean I have to personally like you. I cannot like you and I can respect you. I can be like, oh, I don't really like their music, but I respect what they do. You can't do that now because you know what'll happen. So come on, let's be fair.
And sometimes it's proven to be not genuine. Sometimes apologizing to BTS gives someone attention. It creates jealousy. So how can we even begin to distinguish which one is genuine? And also, should we even think about it? I've noticed that the BTS fandom is very welcoming to anyone who associates with BTS. It doesn't matter if they are famous singers, song producers, backup dancers, or interviewers. This is an overall good attitude, but we need to remember that at the end of the day, this is an industry. The mainstream entertainment industry doesn't always have the exact same type of dynamics between juniors and seniors that K-pop has, but the idea of respect because of power and not because of actual respect exists as well. And just because someone working with BTS treats them nicely or compliments them non-stop doesn't mean that they are friends or that they truly like BTS's work. I'm not the one saying this, BTS is. RM said, "We run into several kinds of artists overseas. There's a kind who are like, oh, you guys are famous these days. Good job, I guess. Go for it." And seem to look down on us a little. And those who are all business and go, I really want to do a song with you. And then there's a third category of people who are oddly positioned between those two. As an exception to these three categories, RM mentions Chris Martin of Coldplay. And by the way, this is the only friendship BTS had a section for in their book. Knowing BTS's story, it's normal for fans to highlight the good interactions. It's nice to see that after everything they went through, BTS are finally receiving respect and common decency. But the respectful interactions we see on camera are not always what they look like. And I believe we shouldn't be pressured to thank, celebrate, and follow the other celebrity for being respectful. Unless I'm an actual fan of their work, I'm not following anyone who says hello to BTS. But that's just me. At the end of the day, the BTS members are the ones deciding to move on. They are finally in the position to brush off the bad interactions, accept the superficial ones, and forgive the old ones. And one of the reasons they want to move on is because they want to stop juniors and small artists from going through what they went through. BTS never pretends their juniors don't exist. BTS greets everyone around them. BTS doesn't reject their juniors' gifts. They are the ones giving them. BTS gives their juniors encouraging words. Some idols are even surprised that BTS would be kind, which makes me wonder how other seniors interact with their juniors.
근데 정말 놀랐던 게 너무 저희한테 친절하게 해주셔서 제가 너무 감동받았었어요. 저희 무대도 칭찬해 주시고
But what we know for sure is that BTS is purposefully using their seniority and fame to change the experience of junior idols.
아니 선배님이랑 진짜 사실 이렇게 대화할 기회가 없으니까
그냥 말 걸면 되는데.
이게 말을 못 걸겠어요. 저도 선배님들한테 다가가기가 좀 어렵다고 해야 되나? 저 사실 너무 긴장하고 왔거든요.
왜요? 그 누구보다도 후배들이 오면 상담을 많이 해주는 편이에요.
사실 형한테 너무 감사한 게 그렇게 챙겨주시는 형이 형밖에 없어요. 형한테도 물어봤었어요. 형 왜 그렇게 저희를 챙겨주세요? 약간 형이 우리 아니면 너한테 이런 얘기 누가 해줘?
우리는 선배가 없었잖아.
네.
선배가 없었고. 너무 힘들고 우리는 물어볼 때도 없었고 내가 안 챙겨주면 누가 챙겨주지? 라는 생각이 좀 많았었거든.
사실 이런 선배님이 많이 없다고 생각해요. 찐으로 너무 감사하고 형한테 대인배라고 느껴지는 모먼트가 있잖아요. 취향이 얘기했던 대로 나는 그럴 사람이 없었다. 근데 본인은 해주잖아요. 나도 저런 선배가 돼야겠다.
나한테 돌려줄 필요는 없고 후배들한테 이렇게 넘어가면
그냥 공식적으로 하고 싶은 얘기가 그냥 저희는 형들이랑 선배를 뒀잖아요. 당연히 선배님들이 본인들이 입으로 얘기하지 않으시겠지만 진짜 이런 사람들이 없다니까요, 세상에 그냥.
Here's some of the translation of one of the many BTS songs about the dynamic between juniors and seniors.
That's crazy, man. When you think about it, that's how you change stuff. How you change stuff is you switch the whole thing when you have power. When you have power, that's when you come on. That's when you change everything. You be nice to the young guys. You give them advice. You show them love. You praise the dance performances. You say, look, keep going. You give them advice. Yo, that wasn't good. You need to try harder. You need to work a little harder. You need to do this. You need to do that. Bro, these guys are the idols of idols. Those kids will listen. They'll follow every instruction. They'll be grateful that you said anything to them, let alone gave them advice. And again, it's just so helpful because now you're gonna have a lot of people wanting to be under, I think, Big Hit or Hype. You're gonna have a lot of people wanting to be under that label because they're like, yo, the older artists is nice. It's not gonna be like the other big three labels where they treat us like crap, you know? So that's what's up, man. Shout out to BTS for that.
And how they want to change it. It could be a strenuous journey. The path I walked may have looked like it's made of flowers, but know that it was a thorny one, with enemies surrounding on all sides. I hope you never forget those who throw flowers onto your path for you. When you're smiling, don't ever forget about those who are crying, because it's your smile that helps them live through the day. When the repetitive schedules erase you, it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to take a brief rest. Cry out loud when you become to hate the world. When the hands that used to greet you turn into fingers pointed at you. You surviving on snoozes to get closer to your dream. It's okay to rest. Today at least, don't even dream. When you silently show me a faint smile, only then I feel a little relieved. This place is a war zone without gunshots. Your peers are your enemies. The brutal yet beautiful good and evil, determined by numbers. When I fail to kill someone else, I become the one to die. Why do I have to kill someone when this scene is not a boxing ring? I hope you never laugh at someone else's misfortune because you never know if you'll find yourself in the same situation. Behind you, growing a dream while watching me. I'll always be standing, so don't worry too much. If you're afraid of falling, I'll gladly catch you. So don't suffer like I did.
Dream.
Yeah, so anyways, man, that was a great video. Again, we all have agreements, we all have disagreements. Like, I love videos. I disagree with some things, I agree with some things. I'm very opinionated. I never liked the victim role. I think these guys were treated bad, really bad, but I think it made them who they are. So I can't really be too mad about how they were treated because what if they were treated really, really good? Would they have worked this hard? What if they would have got everything they've ever wanted from the very beginning and they had seniors and they were nice to them? And would they have trained that hard? Would they have that burning passion? Would they have that desire? I don't know. I don't know if BTS would be who they are right now if everything was handed to them. I don't think they would be who they are right now if they were with a big three label and they were treated like everybody else. I think it was the perfect storm. I think when you put that much pressure on someone, when they have no options and their back's against the wall and everyone hates them and everyone's dissing them, it makes the team come closer together. Coaches will always tell you they'll treat everyone bad and do stuff on purpose to make everyone mad, to make the team come together. But I hate coach. Man, look, he doesn't think we could do it. Let's prove him wrong. That's what it is. It's about getting the group together, letting us fight, letting us work, and the results will not always be there. They'll be there sometimes, they won't be there sometimes. But one thing that will always be there is the passion. And if you have enough passion for what you do, you have enough love for what you do, and you have enough desire for what you do, anything's possible. And I'm gonna leave it at that, because I don't wanna say you'll succeed. Maybe you will succeed, maybe you won't. Maybe they would have succeeded in a big three company, maybe they wouldn't have. I don't know. No one knows. It's not guaranteed. Just because you work hard and you want something doesn't mean you're gonna win. Doesn't mean you're gonna succeed. I could want to blow this channel up to 1 million subscribers all I want. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen. I can work hard, I can put all the time in, I can do all the right videos, I can do everything. But it doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Nor do I expect it to happen. I want it to happen. I would like for it to happen, but am I entitled to it happening? Absolutely not. And no one's entitled to anything in this world except the opportunity. You have the opportunity. They had an opportunity and they made the most of it. We all have opportunities every day. Let's make the most of them. So with that being said, that's the end of my reaction. That was Boracity Magazine. Again, you saw what it was. You guys tell me in the comments, how do you feel about seniors mocking juniors? How do you feel about the K-pop culture? How the younger groups get treated? Or how do you feel about groups that's not on a big label, how they're being disrespected at award shows, not given the proper times, getting cut from award shows? How do you feel about BTS's hardships through all of this? I think personally, it made them stronger. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. That's my favorite quote of all time. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. So you guys let me know in the comments. What was your favorite part about the video? Is there any misconceptions about this that I'm missing or not missing? You let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Always with love on this beautiful Monday. Peace.